Now let's see how we can use Google Forms for testing students. Let me go to my Google Drive, and in my drive I create a form. The name of my form is test, and out of the given templates I choose, let me choose this one of the templates. Now here I'll have to write my question and options. Different variety of questions are here. Multiple choice questions, checkbox and grid and this and that. I am going for MCQ, multiple choice. And now instead of writing questions, I want to pick up my questions from my already available question bank. This is my question bank and question 1 here with 4 options. This is option 1 and I go to option 2 and then option 3 and then option 4. So I have given one question and 4 options. If I want to give some hint, I can write it in the help text. I don't want to give any hint to my students. Now, if I want this question to be answered compulsorily, check it as required question. If it can be skipped, you just skip it. Then done. The question is ready. This is the question. These are the options. The student will check one of them. And if I want to write more questions, I need not again write questions. I can just copy this whole set, duplicate and edit the question and options this way. This is the second question. I am editing the first one I have taken and then I have replaced it with the second one. Then in the same way I replace the options and this way I'm replacing all the options. So my second question is ready. Again I mark it as required. Done. See, when you mark a question as required, you get this kind of star. It's not optional. The student has to answer. And this one, it was not compulsory. So there is no such star mark over here. The student can skip this question. It's all up to you whether you wanted to make it compulsory. Suppose you want to make this one compulsory, you go back to edit option and check here. Now both the questions have become compulsory. This is how we write the questions in a test. Then you can see how it looks. So for that you go to the view live form. This is how it looks to a student. Now just like a student, you can answer the question and you can check how the responses appear. The narrator was scared of M. Hamel because he was not prepared and he was late. So I say both A and B are right. So I've checked this one. There was a crowd at the town hall because there was a special news. So I have answered both the questions. Then I submit like a student. I'm doing the student's part now. And as soon as the student submits his form, he gets a feedback. Your response has been recorded. And thanks. So now the student closes and comes out. See what happens to the response in the teacher's sheet. You can see your response 1. That means one student has responded to your form. He has filled in the form. So you can see the response, right? And you can just not only see the response, but you can also view the summary of responses. You can have the analytics and all such things. And you can set a time limit for accepting responses. If you don't want the answers to come to you anymore after a certain time, you can stop accepting the responses. And choose the response destination. Where do you want the responses to come? Do you want a separate spreadsheet, or do you want a new sheet in an existing spreadsheet? That means you already have a spreadsheet for all such responses. You want these answers also to come into that. And then now I want a new spreadsheet, and the name of the spreadsheet should be test. It will be saved in my Google Drive. So I'm creating a sheet. Now, where do I go to see that response sheet? I go to Google Drive, test responses. Here is where I will have to evaluate the answers. See, this was a question 1, this was question 2, answered by one student. The timestamp shows as to which student has answered at what time. You can put a space for the student's name and roll number, all that in the form itself. What's your name? What's your roll number, like that. Now, how to evaluate? See, suppose I want to give 10 questions. So, I leave 10 columns for 10 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up till here. So, this I will make the evaluation column for this question. This will be for this question. I know what the correct answer is. The answer is this one. Like both A and B is the correct answer. See, I just copied it from here. And in my response place, here I will say evaluate question 1. And here, how do I evaluate? I just put an equal to sign and write if, and a bracket open, this equals to something which I want to give as an answer. I have already copied the answer, and that must be in double inverted commas because it is a text string. If B2 equals to both A and B, then give 1 mark, else 0 mark, and enter. See, this is the marking that I did here, and I'm just trying to bring it to center. So the evaluation for question 1 is this, and if you just drag it, it will be for other students, student number 1, student number 2, student number 3. Because only one student has answered, the others are now 0. If you don't like 0, you can also give a formula like if B2 equals to blank, then the evaluation will also be blank. If B2 equals to blank, then blank. If B2 equals to both A and B, then 1, else 0. Now you see, these zeros will disappear, they all will turn into blanks. This is the evaluation for question 1. Now in the same way, suppose you have 20 students in your class, you will drag it up to 20 or 21, because 1 is again for your headers. I have dragged it up to 25, right? Then the next part is, this was the evaluation for question 1. I want the same evaluation for all questions. So I just drag everything this way, and this I'll make evaluation of question 2, and this one as 3, and so on. And here again, I will have to write the correct answer for the second question. What was the second question? There was a crowd at the town hall because this was the correct answer. So I'm copying it from here and I'm just writing. I'm replacing the first answer with this answer. See, the marking must have turned to 1. So in this way you write answers to all questions and then you drag down so that the same answers will be for the entire class, for all students. So in this way you have evaluation question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever is the number of questions. After having all those questions, you have to write your score. S-C-O-R-E, score. I write score here. I don't like it this way. See, score. What is there to be in the score? It has to be the total. Equals to sum of this to this, whatever is your first question and last question. That's all. Equals, I have written L2 two times. So the student number 1 has answered both questions correctly. His score is your 2. In this way, you can have the score of all the students. Not only this, you can also have the rank. You can also have the highest scorer. By applying conditional format here, format and conditional formatting,